queen, a title reserved only for the baddest of all females, a strong woman who gives us life at every turn, has the sass to shut everything down, and the power to bring on the slayage and look good doing it. That's what Nefertiti was, a queen. And with a name that means a beautiful woman has come, how could she not be? There wasn't much that was known about her early life, but historians believe that she was born in a place called Akhmim around 1390 or 1370 BC to a man who served as a high official during the reign of King Amenhotep III. At the age of 15, she married 16-year-old pharaoh Amenhotep IV, and the two became sort of a power couple in the Amarna period. As with any celebrity, the royal couple's every move was subject to intense paparazzi action. Art by court sculptor Thutmose, famous for creating Nefertiti's bust, showed intimate scenes of the couple and the royal family. The most notable is a sunken relief carving of Amenhotep, Nefertiti, and their three daughters, which shows the pharaoh tenderly cradling his eldest daughter in his arms with Nefertiti tending to the other two. Another recurring design in many of the other artworks of the time shows Nefertiti drawn as the same size as that of the pharaoh, indicating that she is seen as equal in power to the king. Her high political importance is also shown in carvings where she's seen wearing a pharaoh's crown. These depictions were unheard of before her reign, where generally the queen took on a lesser role than the king. Early into his rule, Amenhotep established the worship of the living one, Ra Horus of the horizon, who rejoices in the horizon in his identity of light, which is the sun disk, or the Aten for short. This new religion declared the now deified Aten as the only true god and the royal couple as second to God. To mark this religious takeover, the pharaoh ordered for structures to be built in the temple of Karnak, which as it was already dedicated to the supreme god Amon or Amen. And it was in these temples that Nefertiti served as a priest, a position that was only reserved for men. Of course, these changes didn't sit well with the king's high court and the priests, who took it as an assault to Egypt's religious traditions. Amenhotep was branded as the heretic king, and Nefertiti became the target of hate among her people, as evidenced in found artifacts where her face, and her face alone, was vandalized. But that didn't stop the couple from enacting more controversial changes. In the 5th year, the pharaoh dropped Amenhotep, which stands for Amon is satisfied, and changed it to Akhenaten, or great use of Aten, or effective for Aten. Nefertiti also changed her name to Nefertiti Nefertiti, or beautiful are the beauties of Aten. A beautiful woman has come to show her devotion to the new religion. This shift to worshipping only one god not only posed as a threat to Egypt's pantheon of gods, but it also disrupted the long-standing power structure in the political and religious capital of Thebes. The growing friction with members of his government led the king to build a new capital in Amarna, which he called Akhetaten, or Horizon of the Aten. The city was built on a grand scale with no resources and manpower spared to create grandiose palaces and temples dedicated to Aten. To further separate the new city from the old traditions, the style of art changed drastically as well. Frescoes found in the temples inside Amarna depicted the pharaoh as a more feminine-looking figure, while Nefertiti is now a mirror image of Akhetaten. Here, Nefertiti is often pictured together with her husband, riding the chariot to battle or wearing the pharaoh's crown, hinting that she is indeed his equal. No other Egyptian queen in the country's history has been shown to wield as much power with such frequency as she did. Nefertiti enjoyed enormous power and prominence during her reign as queen. But in the 12th year of her rule, any mention of her suddenly vanished in the records, launching 1,001 conspiracies in his wake. One theory suggests that she fell out of favor from the pharaoh and was banished to the northern palace in Amarna after one of his minor queens gave birth to a son, to the Khatan. However, this theory is not supported by many scholars, as Akhenaten's affection for Nefertiti is very well documented. Another theory is that Nefertiti was elevated as Akhenaten's co-regent. She's rumored to have dressed as man, complete with fake ceremonial beard, and ruled Egypt in the last 3 years of her husband's 17-year reign. This theory finds precedence in other Egyptian queens like Hatshepsut and Tusret, who also took on the role of pharaoh down to their sartorial choices. There's also the theory that Nefertiti was in fact Smenkhare, a lesser-known pharaoh who ruled for a short time after Akhenaten. What makes this theory interesting is that Smenkhare coincidentally shows up in the records almost immediately after Nefertiti disappeared from it. And there are those who believe that she simply decided to step out of the spotlight and decided instead to meddle with the affairs of the young monarchs. But like the true queen that she is, Nefertiti refuses to go down into obscurity and once again gives us something to talk about. With the discovery of her bust by German archaeologist Ludwig Borchardt, Nefertiti mania is once again set into motion. Everyone was enamored by what is claimed as the most realistic representation of Nefertiti. The graceful neck, the high cheekbones, the perfectly shaped eyebrows, and the fierce smiles won't feel out of place in any of the high fashion magazines today. But it wouldn't be a comeback fit for a queen without any controversy. In 2009, the Imaging Science Institute in Berlin performed another CT scan of the bust using more advanced imaging technology and found that underneath the perfect beauty was the real Nefertiti. It turns out that the artist used a bit of ancient photoshopping techniques to create the iconic image of the most beautiful woman in all of Egypt. But underneath the polished facade were layers upon layers of stucco that shows Nefertiti having wrinkles, less defined cheekbones, and a bump on her nose. But I guess it is this kind of unpredictability that keeps us fascinated even after thousands of years. You know, the discovery that Nefertiti isn't just what we thought her to be. That underneath the beautiful face is maybe, I don't know, a supportive wife, a loving mother, a strong leader, a revolutionary, in other words, a queen. And I did this video because I was researching emperors and empresses during ancient times, and I was doing mostly like Japanese emperors and Chinese emperors and empresses, but somehow it kind of led me to Nefertiti. So hopefully you guys found this video interesting. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later.